So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United Cybertron Starscream. And this is my favorite Starscream design, reimagined with new articulation and everything. This is the dream. This figure is probably one of the best Legacy United figures I've ever handled. I say Legacy United, just in general Legacy figures. He is an amazing figure, and it is, like, the best update ever. I mentioned this in the last video, or not the last video, the video after this, the last Transformers-related video, which was Windblade, that they, for some reason, can't get the updates on, like, the newer figures, like Prime and, like, Cyberverse and all that. They can't get those right. But when it comes to, like, anything prior to 2010, they absolutely kill it. Animated, Cybertron, Armada, Energon, you name it. They've been absolutely destroying it. And this is no exception. This here is the third version of a Cybertron figure. Obviously now there's a Hot Rod and Vector Prime. I'm going to be getting those. Just because of him. I'm not even joking. Just because of him, I'm going to buy them. I was going to buy them anyway, but I really want them now. And, I mean, he's just insanely good. There's no other way to put it. He is insanely good. He has everything you would want this figure to have. He looks dead on. Dead on. They kind of, like, thinned him down a bit, but I'm completely fine with that. As far as it goes, back-wise, he has some kibble, but this is supposed to be there. But then there's also his gun, which I just kind of stuck there. There's that. We'll talk about that in a minute when we talk about the accessories. But the design and everything is just great. He's primarily gray with the red and, of course, the dark blue that we'd all been kind of used to up to this point with the Unicron Trilogy Starscream designs. And that dark blue does look quite nice as a nice dark color, and it does keep his typical gray, red, and blue concept of color together, which is an awesome thing. And I mean, there's just not anything wrong with him. He has no kibble. And I know someone's like, these count. They're removable, by the way. These are just, like, pegged on there. You can get rid of these. So if you want him to have no kibble, you can have no kibble. And I know you're seeing that. We'll talk about that as well with the accessories. But he just is awesome. And if you don't like his big shoulder thingies, well, you can get rid of those as well. Screw them. And you get even more streamlined. This is as streamlined as streamlined gets at this point. There is no other way to put it. He is blatantly an amazing looking figure. But I mean, as far as just it goes, he's just great. His accessories that he includes, just to get them out of the way here, we have these, which we'll talk about a little bit more. We'll talk about the gun first. The gun, translucent purple. It exists. It's a gun he can hold in his hand. As you've seen, store on the back. These sections here, quite simply, they just peg up there, and these are like his null rays. They have gun barrels on them, so they do have effect part capabilities. This is the gun. But the big one, accessory-wise, in my opinion, is the planet key. They've made little planet keys, and I actually have the exact planet key, if I'm not mistaken, that this is based off of right here. The exact same planet key. And as you can see, yeah, that's quite the size difference. That is... Yeah, so we got one that's the size of, like, a thumbnail. Then we got one that's, like, just utterly massive. Like I said, this is, like... This is the exact same key, by the way. Like, this is the exact same. Like, this is the proper key that this is trying to emulate, which I kind of thought it would have been, but it 100% is. I think that that's awesome. Like, they even got, like, a lot of the sculpted details nailed, like, the little, like, circle bits down there, that larger one there. Like, that is actually crazy how they dead-on nailed the sculpted detail between the two. That is crazy. And this up here does just plug into this slot here. It doesn't do anything. It's just something that you can do with it. And you can also, I like to move these down for this, though, because I think putting them on the shoulders, it doesn't look right. Honestly, I like them on the forearms more even than guns. Like, it just, I don't hate the whole null ray being attached to the shoulder thing, but it's just, it just loses articulation type of thing. You can't get as much expression. But he, of course, has some nice translucent purple blades in there, which is his initial Cyberplanet Key gimmick. Except he had slots on his arms with those. Only one was a blade, though, originally. The other one was actually this gun. So, yeah, that's what they're trying to emulate with that. And I like that they went with the double blades in the arms instead of a gun. God, I love when characters have arm blades. I love that stuff. It's just, I love this type of thing, and I love this figure just for the accessories alone. It looks great. But that's really just the accessories, so let's look at the articulation, which is also quite good. He has a ball joint in the head, which has all of the range you pretty much want. Forward and back. Outward. This moves, though, to allow for a more outward. Phenomenal. With these on there, not so much, though. I'm not going to lie to you. We then have a swivel, a double elbow. I missed something. A butterfly joint. That is just a strict butterfly joint. It's actually there just to be a butterfly, which is insane. He then also has a wrist swivel as well. So he has everything you'd want there. He does have a waist swivel, something a lot of Starscreams lack. And this guy doesn't. Somehow, some way. I think it's just due to the transformation, obviously. But forward, back, out, knee joint, which goes well beyond 90. And he has a inward tilt as well, along with some up and down movements. So he is as articulate as you need him to be. He is, in fact, over-articulate for a typical figure. And as a guy with blades, you know I'm going to love that. He doesn't need sword-wielding wrists because they're arm-mounted. But as far as it goes, that is the robot mode, so let's just get into the transformation. And that is a pretty easy thing. So the first thing we're going to do is remove these. You don't have to remove them. If you have them up on the shoulders, you're completely fine. You don't need them to be there like that. So the first thing we're going to do, come to the back, open it up, and flip in the head, like so. That'll then just peg over, like so. Next thing we're going to do is work on the arms. So you're going to fold these down out of the way for a moment. So just fold them like that. Fold these back. Rotate the arm around. Once again, fold that down. Rotate the arm around. You're then going to open up the forearm. Similar to like the Siege figure. It's very similar to that. It's like the exact same thing. You open it up, flip in the forearm. Once you do that, you then take the peg hole on the arm, and that just pegs in onto the back, like so. You can also then take these sections, which, like I said, they're just basically pegged on there. So them falling out is a pretty regular thing. Fold that up like so. Open that. And one thing I have to say, this clip thing here scares me. It's going to break. I know it's going to break. It's just such a weird way to do it. It just feels like it's immediately going to break, and I would not be shocked if there is a stress mark on that already, because it just does not feel good to do that part of the transformation at all. It does not feel good. The next thing is straight out of Transformers Cybertron, which is the legs, the main part of it anyway. So you're going to fold up those little parts of the heel there. Let's just kind of even it out. This is continuing the Cybertron transformation, though, where you would fold out the toes. Now we open up the back, where the leg covers would be. Again, I like that we have leg covers. Sign of a good figure. You then take the legs and make sure that these are pointing upward, like so. And then you're going to fold the feet in, like that. These then fold back. Now they have 2 peg points. So one is right here, right there, and that goes into the kneecap. And then there's this front tab here that goes in under the cockpit nose section. You got to do that on both sides. The one at the back with the kneecaps, the easier of the two to get in, so I'd recommend doing that one last. Once you've done that, though, the next thing you can do, come to the bottom, and you could just peg that closed, but that would leave a massive gap. Take the gun, put that there for its weapon storage, and then flip the wings back over, and you got Cybertron Starscream in his alt form, and it's perfect. Almost. I think the cockpit's a little flat. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but otherwise it's such a minor nitpick. it doesn't matter. This thing is perfection. It is exactly what I want. My enemy. Dirt bikes are going down the road again. God damn it. But this is just a phenomenal looking jet mode. It's exactly what you want out of it. Again, Cyberplanet Key, completely accessible. Do what you want with that. I mean, I like this gimmick just because it's just my favorite thing ever, and I can't wait to get more. But it's just an awesome thing, and I like that they integrated the weapon storage, so it's just like you got to open up these flaps down here. If I can get them open, there we go. Open up that flap, close that, and like I said, if you don't have the gun in there, it leaves this massive gap. And it doesn't look too good. It really doesn't. So I just recommend it. I mean, if you're kind of keeping the figure complete anyway, it's not really going to harm anyone if you have the gun under there. It's just there. It's a pretty easy figure to complete and keep complete. But as far as it goes, that's really the alt mode. There's not really a lot more details to show. He has his little guns. They don't flip up like on the original big one, though, which sucks. The backside is the backside. It looks like that. It's fine. It's completely well and good. Although I will say the stand port's in an odd spot right there. It's a little strange. They could have put it somewhere down here, maybe. But that's about it. That's the main complaints. But that's really it for Starscream, so let's just get to my final thoughts on him. I'm just going to take those off. And as far as it goes with him, I think that he is a fantastic figure. He's fantastic. There's no other way to put it. He is absolutely fantastic. And I got this guy on Prime Day, so he was a little bit cheaper that day. He was like $10 cheaper than usual, which is an awesome time. And for that price, yeah, I wasn't passing him up. He was one I wanted anyway. So it was like, I'm just going to buy him now when he's cheap. And I did not regret that at all. This guy is genuinely one of the best Voyager class figures. Which Voyager class has been killing it, I have to say. The Voyager figures are fucking just killing it the whole time. I don't think they've really usually missed with them. Like, there's a couple where it's like, okay, maybe it's just a weird repaint or something like that of another figure. But for the most part, Voyager classes the last couple years have been, like, the best part of Transformers, in my opinion. And, I mean, this guy just continues that wholeheartedly. There's no issues, really, to be had with him. He transforms exactly how he should. It's exactly like the original, but with a couple extra little steps that fix it up. His accessories are amazing. They included the Planet Key. They incorporated the Planet Key gimmick weapons, which is awesome. Everything's great. He's as accurate gets. And they just basically slimmed him down a little and made him so much better. But that is really it. He's getting a 5 out of 5. Definitively, without a doubt, he's probably one of my favorite. He might even be my favorite figure of the year from Transformers. He is that good. But that's really all I have to say about Cybertron Starscream. This has been I'll Delete signing out.